Listen, if you are claiming unemployment in Virginia, making just one simple mistake on your weekly earnings report could literally lock you out of your benefits for an entire year. So, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to decode the exact steps you need to take to report your work and earnings flawlessly. We're going to equip you with all the knowledge you need to protect your benefits, stay completely out of trouble, and honestly, just give you some peace of mind.
Okay, let's kick things off with a massive misconception that traps so many people right out of the gate. Think about this for a second. Do you only report money to the state when the check actually clears your bank account? Or, when your boss finally hands you the physical cash? It seems totally logical, right? But thinking this way is actually one of the most common and dangerous reporting errors you can possibly make.
Making that innocent mistake can hit you with a devastating 52-week disqualification penalty. Yeah, you heard that right. An entire year where you are completely ineligible to receive unemployment benefits in Virginia or any other state for that matter. And honestly, it gets worse. If the state decides you've committed fraud by misreporting, you get slapped with a mandatory 15% financial penalty on top of the overpaid amount, and you could even face criminal misdemeanor charges. The Virginia Employment Commission does not mess around. They use aggressive collection tactics like seizing your tax refunds and garnishing your wages. And those fraudulent overpayments, they absolutely cannot be waived.
So, to make sure you never have to deal with any of that, here's our agenda for today. 1. Introduction to unemployment reporting. 2. Understanding the requirements. 3. Step-by-step reporting process. 4. Examples and scenarios. 5. Common challenges and solutions. And 6. Additional resources.
Let's jump right into Section 1, Introduction to Unemployment Reporting and Why Accuracy Matters. So, Virginia's unemployment system is basically a remedial social insurance program. It's designed to be a temporary lifeline for folks experiencing involuntary unemployment through absolutely no fault of their own. It is a safety net, plain and simple. But for that safety net to actually function, it requires absolute transparency from both you and your employers. The system constantly cross-checks data to prevent fraud and protect the state's trust fund. The bottom line here, being 100% accurate ensures you get the temporary help you need right now without the nightmare of having to pay it all back later because of an accidental overpayment. Moving on to Section 2, Understanding the Requirements. Let's look at Virginia's specific reporting rules. You might actually be surprised to hear this, but you are highly encouraged to pick up part-time, temporary, or freelance gigs while you're hunting for a full-time job. The state calls this partial unemployment. But, and this is a big but, taking these gigs triggers a super strict rule. You must report every single cent of gross income from those jobs. Oh, and you also have to work all the available hours your employer offers you. If you turn down hours, you could actually be deemed ineligible for your benefits. And this brings us right back to that huge trap we talked about earlier, earned versus paid. Listen closely, because you must report your wages for the specific week you physically earned them, not the week you actually get paid. For the VEC, a reporting week is a strict calendar week, starting at 12:01 a.m. on Sunday and ending at midnight on Saturday. So if you work a 4-hour shift on a Thursday, you have to report those earnings for that specific week, even if your boss doesn't hand you a check until 3 weeks later. Okay, Section 3, Step-by-Step Reporting Process. Here is exactly how to file your weekly claim. Every single week, once that Sunday to Saturday claim week has officially ended, you'll do a 4-step certification. First, securely log into the customer's self-service portal, which uses ID.me to verify it's you, or you can call the voice response system. Second, report all your employment and gross earnings for that exact week. Third, confirm you are physically able and available to work. And fourth, detail your mandatory work search contacts. I know it sounds like a bit of a bureaucratic dance, but it's exactly what keeps your benefits flowing safely. Now, timing is absolutely everything here. You have a strict 21-day window to file your weekly claim after the claim week ends. If you miss that ticking clock, your claim automatically closes. Payments stop completely. And then you're stuck going through the massive headache of reopening your claim from scratch online or sitting on hold with the contact center. Another thing to keep in mind, reporting partial earnings doesn't get you out of Virginia's work search mandates. You still have to actively look for full-time work by making at least 2 job contacts with different employers every single week. Plus, you are legally required to keep meticulous records of your job hunt for a full year. If the VEC randomly audits you, you'll need the date, the employer's exact name and address, the contact person, their phone number, the type of work, and how it all turned out. Keep those receipts, folks. Section 4, examples and scenarios. Let's actually do the math of partial unemployment. So let's say you take a little weekend shift. The VEC is actually pretty generous here. They forgive the first $100 of your gross earnings. So if you make $150 in gross wages, they subtract that $100 allowance, meaning only $50 is deducted from your unemployment check. If you only make $80, which is under that $100 mark, your benefit check isn't reduced at all. But heads up, if your gross earnings equal or exceed your total weekly benefit amount, you just won't get any unemployment benefits for that specific week.
Now, here's a crucial distinction, especially if you have self-employment income. You've got to know exactly which program you are on. Regular unemployment insurance requires reporting gross wages. That's the raw amount before taxes. But if you're receiving benefits under a special federal program like Disaster Unemployment Assistance or DUA, you actually need to report your net earnings. Getting this mixed up is a fast track to an overpayment notice.
Next up, Section 5, common challenges and solutions. Let's talk about avoiding the pitfalls. Let's look at the classic mistakes that always seem to catch people out. Number 1, forgetting to report a cash job or a tiny freelance gig. Number 2, waiting for a check to clear before reporting, which we now know breaks the earned versus paid rule. Number 3, underreporting tips or commissions. And number 4, not reporting holiday, vacation, or severance pay. Look, the VEC has an entire dedicated fraud unit. They cross-check your identity against employer payrolls, the Social Security Administration, and even the DMV. Trying to hide a tiny cash gig will almost certainly trigger an audit. Just don't risk it. Finally, Section 6, additional resources and where you can go to find help. If you're ever staring at your screen totally unsure about how to calculate your gross wages or whether a specific type of work needs to be reported, please do not guess. Hop onto the customer self-service portal or call the VEC Customer Contact Center directly for guidance before you hit submit. They even have a really handy gross wage calculator tool right on their website. You can also leverage the voice response system or the Virginia Workforce Connection portal for help with your job hunt.
As we wrap up, please keep in mind that unemployment laws and bureaucratic processes change all the time. Always verify current guidelines directly with official Virginia Employment Commission sources so you're never caught off guard. Remember, precision and honesty are your absolute best tools when navigating this whole system. So I'll leave you with this question. How will you update your own personal record keeping today to ensure you stay in complete compliance with the latest VEC guidelines?